This is the most affordable Nothing device, and it has just been officially unveiled. I'm referring to the new Nothing Phone 3 Lite. In its design, it aims to preserve the brand's distinctive aesthetics, featuring a unique rear. It also incorporates glass on the back, showcasing a transparent finish and a metal frame. The device has a thickness of 8.3 millimeters and weighs 199.9 grams. It offers IP resistance 54. So it's quite basic, with the addition of Panda Glass protection, which confirms that this device is indeed quite affordable. We won't find premium features here, but the price reflects that. The main downside of this model is it sacrifices the iconic glyph interface, a key feature of all Nothing devices. Instead, it offers what's called Glyph Lite, which is essentially an LED. The brand implemented it well. For example, you can turn it on in red while recording. And it will also help to notifications, we are not going to see the usual pattern of various lights flashing in sync with your ringtone or something similar, which was a signature feature of this brand. So, it's quite puzzling as to why they decided to change this, especially since this brand has typically concentrated on high-end devices. It's quite puzzling as to why they decided to change this, especially since this brand has typically concentrated on high-end devices. High-end or possibly premium, mid-range and above, while leaving the mid-range and budget segments for their sub-brand CMF by Nothing. We are uncertain if this decision will lead to CMF being phased out, opting instead to retain the Nothing brand, but now with extensions like Lite, Neo, or any other variations they might come up with. But well, let me continue telling you the specifications of this device, which integrates a 6.77-inch AMOLED display with Full HD resolution, adaptive refresh rate of up to 120 Hz, and arrives with a fairly high peak brightness of 3000 nits. I think the screen can become most attractive. In addition to the design, which we know is iconic of the brand, about the sound, not highlighted in official specifications, what we will find, so we would have to wait to have it in hands to confirm it, but the front camera is 16 megapixels with aperture f2.45. The rear camera system features 3 lenses, a 50 megapixel Samsung main sensor measuring 1/157 inches with an aperture of f1.88, and digital stabilization, so it's not exactly an appealing camera, but remember, it's a budget device. It also features an ultra-wide-angle 8-megapixel camera with an f2.2 aperture. And it has a third camera, although this has been somewhat controversial because it is a 2-megapixel macro camera. You know, I like to refer to this one as a marketing camera, which really doesn't contribute much. In fact, it became a topic of controversy because one of the key founders of Nothing posted on his X account a long time ago that the 2-megapixel cameras were not very good. Now that this brand has decided to incorporate one of these cameras, several X accounts have taken up the official publication, and they have heavily criticized this decision. They expressed a lot of dissatisfaction with it, until this person needed to clarify that he meant the depth cameras, which are essentially decorative since the ultra-wide cameras could detect depth. After seeing the macro photos taken by Nothing's team, he understood that it was a camera capable of detecting the camera's depth. That truly could be justified when considering its incorporation. Let me know in the comments if you support 2-megapixel macro cameras. I'm against them because they don't offer more detail than the main camera with digital zoom. I might accept a 5-megapixel macro camera like Samsung says it makes more sense. Share your opinion in the comments. The truth is that Nothing includes the technology known as True Lens Engine 4.0, which is set to improve color handling, detail, and more. We plan to test it eventually. The battery boasts a capacity of 5,000 mAh, traditionally supporting a 33-watt load via cable. According to the manufacturer, it reaches 50% charge in just 20 minutes. So, don't be disappointed by the 33-watt rating. If well optimized, it can perform effectively. Keep in mind that other manufacturers with about 90-watt loads reach 50% in 30 minutes, so we should give them the benefit of the doubt. The software runs Nothing OS 3.5 based on Android 15. I believe that takes away from its promise of providing 3 years of Android updates along with 6 years of security patches. Initially, it seems promising, but considering this device should have originally come with Android 16, it essentially means there will be only 2 years of Android updates and still 6 years of security patches. On the performance side, it is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Pro, manufactured in a 4nm process accompanied by 8 GB of RAM and the very famous 8 GB of virtual RAM actually. In the majority of manufacturers, it is actually quite useless. I clarify this point because there are some manufacturers that do a good job optimizing their virtual RAM memory, but in most situations it proves to be useless. Interestingly, it also includes expandable storage, a feature that is gradually disappearing in many devices. It is able to support microSD cards with a capacity of up to 2 terabytes. The price will indeed be its most compelling aspect. In Europe, it begins at 249 euros, and we now have an official price for Mexico set at 4,499 pesos. Although keep in mind that prices here differ from those over there. Do you believe that giving up the glyph interface is a wise strategy to capture a market with a more affordable price range, or should Nothing concentrate on high-end devices instead, reserving its CMF sub-brand for this particular series?